My girlfriend's grandmother is plotting against me, and now the whole family is involved. Backstory: my girlfriend has very strict parents and have seemingly, for the most part, tried to keep her from having a social life, telling her grades come first, generally untrusting of others and overprotective, etc., etc. So it was understandable when she didn't want her family finding out about our relationship. By the way, this comes from user Sorrowful Rose. Ooh, so melancholy. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. So, fast forward 2 or 3 years or so, and they found out. My girlfriend's mother was overall okay with me and didn't have much issue with me, just simply overprotective, like don't be alone in a room, don't have the spicy sleep, etc.
Nice.
Not too long after, her father found out and decided to take the family and me out to dinner, where for the most part, he also ended up accepting me. This is where the issues began.
Uh-oh.
That night, after our dinner, I had been invited to stay over as it was fairly late, and they gave the okay. On the way, he decided to stop by his mother's house, my girlfriend's grandmother, and of course, I ended up tagging along. Her grandmother took notice of me and, from what I could gather, inquired about me from her son, while I was out of earshot and out of view. During this brief visit, she complained nonstop to my girlfriend's dad about me, ranting about what she didn't like, citing that I didn't look like I would be a good match. I was told this later. What do you mean I didn't look? Was she calling you ugly? It was overall okay, since I wouldn't have to see or interact with her at all that much. Or so I thought.
No.
Fast forward 2 months, and my girlfriend is moving right next to her grandmother's house. Now, this had been their old house long ago, but they had moved previously and rented it out to others. They had now decided to go back. Come moving day, I went ahead and helped with the move, taking apart furniture, carrying and loading things, and then reconstructing furniture at their new home. My girlfriend's grandma has the keys to their home and can and does barge in whenever she wants. I think that should be reversed. I think you should have keys to grandma's house. Not the other way.
But she's probably making sure you guys aren't up to the devil's tango dance.
As I was helping set up shelves and beds and all that jazz, she walked in. I gestured a nice hello, but she completely ignored me. So I went back to setting up some stuff. After setting up the majority of things, we decided to go out for food. Apparently, from what I'm told, the moment we left, she went on a rant about me, how I was lazy, poor, rude, etc., constantly expressing her displeasure about me whenever she got the chance. Me, who helped with moving and setting up bed frames and tables and shelves, was being called lazy and accused of sitting around. Sure, she continued to do this, and at any chance she had, tried to find ways to berate me, which only escalated and got worse as she spun her webs to more and more people. Moving forward a few days after I was told all this, I visited. Her grandmother was sitting outside, and because I knew she didn't like me, I barely and shyly waved before going inside. Honestly, this one is mostly my fault. She went on a tangent about how I was rude, didn't say hello, and ignored her to my girlfriend's mother and father. Before long, they slowly started to dislike me. Notice how I've been saying she does this as soon as I'm no longer there. This goes for my girlfriend as well. Despite all her spite directed at me, she won't say anything to either me or my girlfriend. Instead, she takes a different approach. She goes and tells the rest of my girlfriend's family, constantly trying to drive a wedge into our relationship. She tells her aunts and uncles that she is dating someone poor, abusive, rude, mean, etc., constantly trying to get them to intervene into our relationship, to my girlfriend's annoyance. This also extends to her cousins, but they all knew about me before the parents were told and generally did not listen to her. This part is what I mean when I say my girlfriend's parents aren't too far off from being on here. My girlfriend has a half-sister and brother because her father cheated on my girlfriend's mother. You would think he'd break it off after being found out, but no, he just caters to both of them. Seriously, what a dirt pickle. Anyway, her half-sister is often forced to live with the grandmother. And from what she has relayed, anytime there is any mention or sight of me, it sets her off. She has to endure it for an entire week or so every time. This gets more and more ridiculous to the point of her telling my girlfriend not to sit so close to me or to not even sit on the same couch as me. So now, we try not to go to my girlfriend's house as often, since the grandmother lives next door and has cameras pointed at the doors and barges in whenever she likes without any notice or care for anyone else's opinion. Low-key change the locks? Our current situation now is that I'm barely allowed to go over because she doesn't want her sister to suffer. Her parents constantly try to subtly slide breakup suggestions into our conversations. Her mother told her not to spend any time at all with me for 2 months for whatever reason, only saying, "You're not compatible." She ignored this. I get scoffs at any mention of me by her mother, and her father constantly tells her and asks her why she has a boyfriend like me. Overall, I am now disliked by her parents and other older family members. Added info about her filth-tastic father. He has cheated on his wife and kept 2 families. Yet he has openly stated that he wished neither side's kids were born.
Wow. He's probably like, I wish I could do the thing, but not have to pay for it. Because now he has to pay for 2 families. Pick a family, bro. Pick a family. What? I mean, just because you're cheating doesn't mean you can keep both. If you want to just keep one financially, you got to choose one. You can't have both.
I kind of disagree with that.
Really? So if you cheat, you want to keep both families?
I mean, I think if you father children with anybody, like, you should bear some level of responsibility.
Sure, but like, he's keeping up with 2 families at once. There's going to be more money involved.
I think it's a complex dynamic. However, I think saying that the children shouldn't exist disqualifies you from any good graces in perpetuity. He is pretty cheap as well, constantly making promises to cover expenses like my girlfriend's college or owing her a trip and then not keeping them. He told her to pick whatever college she wanted, saying she could go to whichever she liked. She picked one a bit further from home and wanted to dorm. She had a pretty dang good scholarship for this school, but he forced her to stay closer to home. In the end, she had to pick a school she didn't plan on going to, and then he constantly berated her for not getting a scholarship for a school she never originally planned to attend. He berates her for not making money because she's in college and doesn't have the time or energy for it until recently. The moment she does get a job, he starts saying he can cut costs on her because she is now making money, and he does just that. He even goes as far as telling her that she needs to make money and that the money has to support him because he raised her. He later says his plan is to retire to China and abandon both families. Honestly, my girlfriend has consistently brushed them off, told them off on numerous occasions, and corrected them on the lies her grandmother spews about me. But at this point, neither her grandmother nor the others listen. So now in their minds, I'm a rude hoodlum who was poor and only after their money, without any care for my girlfriend.
Been there.
Why do we, again, it's like after the expose of the dad's behavior, it's like we should definitely not give 2 craps about what that guy thinks.
Plus, he's probably, if he's able to figure out how to have 2 families at once, he knows, he's got a silver tongue. He knows how to get whatever he wants by just like asking people.
Sorry if this doesn't really fit with what normally goes on here, but it felt like a good spot to vent. And there's an edit here. Many of her aunts and uncles haven't really met me yet, so they haven't been able to form opinions of me. Instead, their opinions have already been formed by their residual wrinkled vulture. And here is the update. I thought her mom was just a worried parent. I changed my mind. She's absolutely just as bad. She demanded that my girlfriend not see me for 2 months with no reason or explanation, which she followed to her knowledge. So when my family invited my girlfriend to dinner 2 months later, she wanted to go as she wanted to spend time and get to know my uncle more, as he was very into art, just like she is. Now, when being kind and asked, her mother responded with, "Nope, don't want you to hang out with him or his family again, with no explanation other than just don't. I want you to listen to me." Well, she didn't like that and went anyway. These are fully adult, grown, humans. You don't get to just go, "No, you can't date that person. You have to stay home." Come 8 p.m., she ordered her home immediately. We were about an hour away from her home, with the ultimatum to sleep on the street. She ended up going next door to her grandmother's because her brother was there hanging out with their cousin when he got a call while she was next to him. The call was to refrain from telling her the doors were locked. She knew at this point. Ultimately, she got back inside and has since packed emergency bags into her car, mainly her work uniform and other necessities, so even if she was locked out, she'd have a way to work. Her mother's excuse was, "Oh, I just care," and, "Oh, I just don't want you out that late." I got livid and stayed about 5 minutes away in case she was actually locked out for about 2 hours. W boyfriend move right there. And really, if you care so dang much, you'd let her sleep on the streets in 20-degree weather? Obviously, she doesn't care about either her mental or physical health at that point. Also, not wanting her out that late, logical thing, let's make sure she can come in even later. She tried playing the "you live under my roof" card, a card which they forced her on, since she had her own scholarship and the option to dorm before they forced her out of it. In the end, my girlfriend gave 0 Fs and openly didn't care if she was locked out or not. Yes, because she was sick and tired of their crap. Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go. Just
Right.
because they're your family, don't tolerate this nonsense.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah. Good for you. You know what? Good for you.
Truly.
It takes a while to realize that, but I'm glad you're at that point
It does.
where you don't have to mess with that. You don't have to deal with that.
You know, like,
It's amazing.
for real. She also resorted to stealing my girlfriend's packages, which she got back because her brother told her they were his, which is mostly true. She gladly didn't take one meant for me, though, as it came before this issue and gave it to me the day of. It was a $166 electronic picture frame. Oh, that syncs to my phone. Cool. Yes, those are sick. And by the way, you would probably be scared thinking about how many stories you can listen to, full episodes with stories like this. All you have to do is go to iHeartRadio or wherever you listen to podcasts and search OK Storytime.
Boom.
And we are now up to 51 consecutive days
51
of stories.
days.
That is 1,224 hours. Before anyone else says, why not leave? Where we are, it's really hard to find open, affordable housing. Oh, so like everywhere. She does not make enough, nor do I at the moment, and I live further away. Her school and workplace is a good hour away from her place and 3 from mine. So that won't be good in any way. She can't really stay with her friends for more than a day, and she has no immediate relatives that are any better, as anyone in her generation suffers similar issues from their insane parents. The only one that is a decent person is her uncle, who moved away to get away from the family crazies, from what I can understand. Dang, and that is the end of that story.